Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm just gonna see if this works now. We start this over and see if it works, see if it connects. Okay, there we go.
There it goes.
I don't know what happened. It was my fault. It was my fault.
I'm gonna share the video too, I guess.
Okay, share away, share away.
How do I share it to here so that people can my friends can see it?
I think your friends gonna automatically see it because it's like a,
Oh, live now. I'm live with you.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
That works. Hey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's. I know we should have been done this, but I be having so many people, and it wasn't like I ignored you, but it was just like I like to keep my word with people and stuff like that. But I was gonna get to you eventually and stuff. So
We right on time.
yeah,
On the day that
yeah,
we
hmm
so that's good.
yeah. First off, I finally have muscled the courage to finish this. It
So
was deep. Ooh.
yeah, it's a deep story
Mhm.
about my so um what did you think about it? Without giving away too much information.
Well, I found it really relatable
Hmm.
because I went through some things as well that a whole lot of people would not imagine. And I'm grateful that I didn't succumb to the traumas and stuff like that because it's hard, you know what I'm saying? It's hard being first black, two being a scarred person, but you have to find your way outside of the maze and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
just being um, someone who grew up in some bad circumstances and being able to rise above that. You know, a lot of people couldn't understand or relate. So I commend you for the transformation that you made with your life to allow yourself to just overcome it, you know what I'm saying, and not be what you went through.
Yeah, I think, well, for those who don't know who I am, or my name is Evelyn Davis. I wrote a book called Behind Her Smile, which is a book that is about my journey through the foster system and adoption, the things that I went through, um, and the effects of those things, as an adult, seeing how it impacted me as an adult. 'Cause I think for so long like as a child growing up, I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm not scarred, like so the whole time I'm thinking I'm good. I'm not scarred. I'm great. I'm still this loving person and I've healed. The whole time I'm thinking I thought that I was healed from what happened. But I never spoke about the things that happened to me. So, um, as I got older, I started to see how those things truly impacted me as an adult, just with relationships, friends, dealing with different partners, and things like that. And that's mainly why I wanted to write the book, was to start opening up the discussions of, because I feel like it's not talked about that much, like the impact that the long lasting impacts that sexual abuse has on people, as
Hmm.
from your child, or verbal abuse, mental abuse, and things like that. Like it's not really talked about that much, and that was my gateway to open up these discussions for people to be able to talk about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I couldn't wait to talk about this with a female without being called misogynist and everything like that because everybody don't sit back and think how many times it happened to men as well.
Yeah.
So I'm able to, I would say, vent to you,
Yeah.
even though this is your interview. I don't want to hog the glory or
No,
anything, but
I, I was when you said, "Hey, I've been through this," I was like, I'm open ears because it is something that's swept under the rug for men because I feel like men can't. A lot of men go through these types of things as children, like they're taken advantage of as kids, and they're not able to talk about it because then they thought, or you know what I'm saying, they're not allowed to say, hey, I was raped growing up and stuff, because then they're going to get laughed at by their friends and stuff. It's cool to have sex, but you were taken advantage of as a kid. You know what I'm saying? You were touched on, you know what I'm saying, like it. And when I hear people talk about stories and stuff, I'm like, that was rape. Like that girl had no business having sex with you at that age. Like she was a rapist. Like she shouldn't have been having sex with no little ass boy, you know? So I was happy when you started telling me about your story too, because it's more common than not.
yeah, I would say 9 times out of 10 boys were sexually assaulted in their youth, and they didn't think that it was rape at the time because you grow up and you thinking that's what you're good for. It's your sexuality, that you're not good to be smart, you're not good to lead, you're not good to do anything besides procreate and just be promiscuous and stuff like that. But I was touched not only by a female but a male as well,
Mm-hmm.
and these people I trusted. You know what I'm saying? My mama trusts me with them, and
Mm-hmm.
even though we was all young, they was a lot older than me, so they knew better than I did. Because when you a kid, all you thinking about is toys, going outside and play, being active. You're not
Yeah.
thinking about sex. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you may stumble upon a magazine, especially growing up in the '90s and shit, before the internet went bonkers with it. But um, you may come across a portal tape, or you may come across certain things, but that's not your um, demographic. You know what I'm saying? Your demographic is recess, fun, video games, toys, going outside to play with your friends and stuff like that. Being a kid, being innocent, being pure. You know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking about going through those type of things, and I hate that it's mainly us, because even though like it was the theme of our ancestors and stuff, a lot of the ancestors antics was passed on through generations and generations, and we can say that it wasn't our fault, but hey, I live in this community dominated by blacks, or mixed culture and this and that. So we can't keep putting that all on the past and everything like that. When it's people that you feel like that got away with it, they get to live the rest of their lives in secrecy,
Yeah.
and haven't really apologized for what they did.
Great.
And
People,
yeah,
you know. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I had went through a period where I was just like, I didn't want to expose anybody, and I still don't. That's why I kept it very basic
Mm-hmm.
in my book. But I just wanted to hear like I'm sorry for doing what I did. But and that's something that I'm never gonna get because my adopted parents actually passed away last year. But I know that that's not something that I'm ever gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I've always longed for. But yeah, so I think I don't know. It,
It's unfair.
huh?
You think it's like it's in a sense it's unfair?
I wouldn't say it's unfair, but I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how. That's something I have to think about. I don't think it's unfair that I didn't hear an apology. I think that um it's just something that I wanted because I felt like it was gonna help me with my healing journey to be able to move forward. But as I'm continuously healing, because I feel like healing is a never ending thing. Like, like it goes in waves because um, um I go through waves of feeling low because of, what happened. And then I'm like on top of it, and I feel really good. And I'm like, I got this, I'm empowered. And then I go back down, I'm just like, dang, like, I don't, and I start feeling all this negative things about myself. And I know it stems from childhood trauma
Hmm.
and the things that I've been through. So I'm like, for the longest time, I was like, if I just get an apology, I'll be good. But I don't even think, even if I got an apology, I still wouldn't be good because you have to live with those things, the rest of your life. And that's the thing that abusers, they don't realize that they're leaving you with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's with you forever.
Yeah, you're not lying because even at 35, I still struggle with it because the people that did that to me, they got kids now, and I see them sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even when I see them, I just want to beat the crap out of them because I was so small, right? Because you see me in person, I'm huge, I'm like a giant and this and that. But it's just now, um, when I see them, it takes me back to that little kid. And a lot of times when they would like, come out of pocket, I get real defensive to the point that I just want to knock them out and just put and throw all my frustrations on them because of the fact that I was too little to defend myself. I was too little to fight back. And plus, I was too little for someone to take me seriously because nowadays, um, little kids doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, depending on what kind of parent that they have and stuff. Because nowadays, they worry about being embarrassed instead of trying to get some justice or even start an investigation. So it's hard.
Hmm.
But at the same time, um, stuff like that takes time. Peace takes time. And in order to get that peace, sometimes you just have to take a step back. You have to focus on you, building yourself up. Because those
Hmm.
people was broken. And broken people love to break other people so they can become broken, so they can feel better about themselves, in which I never wanted anybody else to feel like that.
Right, right. That's because you're a good person, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like, I think that, like I said, like my motivation for writing this, it was for men and women. You know what I'm saying? Men and women who've been through similar things. Um, just like I feel like oftentimes like when we're going through stuff, we feel like we're the only ones going through that. Like there's no one else that is able to relate. And I went and I talk about this in my book, going to an all white school. It really messed with me because a lot of my friends they weren't going through real life stuff. And like my best friend would always tell me like I feel you. I know you going through some stuff, but I don't know how to be there for you because I can't relate. I have a good life. So like I feel like things like that. And then like we oftentimes we just like I just feel alone. I felt really alone in what was happening to me growing up. And so I didn't talk about it often. I didn't talk about it. And then as I got older, it started to really impact me. I was over drinking. I was listen, I was I was doing the most, but
No,
um,
it's cool. It's all right.
to cope, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? To cope with what happened, like my thing that I did was I drank a lot, and um, yeah, and I think as like my thing, I was just like I want to be able to share my story because I want people to know that they're not alone and that there are, there is someone else that went through something similar, not the same thing, but something similar, that if you need someone to talk to, you have a resource, or you have a group of, a community of people that you can go to and talk to that's been through similar things. um because like I talked about in my book, like being raped at the age of 4 was very traumatizing. That was almost for a year straight that happened to me. And then going into a home where you trust these people to treat you like their actual child, and you start getting molested by, I started getting molested by my adopted dad. And not only that, but just the whole dynamic of the house was just crazy, just being, spied on by my brothers, people not treating you like they're your sister, because they're like, well, we don't got the same blood running through us. You know what I'm saying? Just like certain things like that. It's like it was very, very a traumatic childhood. But I've always been like, I'm not going to be a product of that. I never wanted to be a victim or have a victim mindset over what happened to me. I just wanted to go through that and then treat people and anybody that I come in contact with 10 times better than, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've always just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to help others and treat them better than what I've ever been treated.
Yeah, and I read the part about your your brother and everything. He was hungry. He went into the kitchen,
Oh yeah.
and y'all was so terrified.
Yeah.
It was like I was looking at it, or I was like there in the room when you was describing it in the book, and I can really recall that, being in the same position that
Mm-hmm.
time, and man.
Because back then, like, how we were disciplined is way different than how kids are disciplined
Hmm.
now. It was easy for someone to be like, go get a switch, go get a shoe real quick. Um, but when you're in settings like a foster home and stuff, and there's not really a real reason for the beatings, you know what I'm saying? Like, for the extreme beatings or whatever. So it was just like that moment really scared me. But like, because he cut his eye open that day. And abuse is so common in foster homes.
Hmm.
And like, as kids, we're afraid to talk about it. We're afraid to say, hey, this is happening to me right now. And from my recollection, I don't remember the social worker coming around that much when we'd be placed in these homes. Like, I don't, like, they would place us there and then we wouldn't see them like that. Like, I don't remember just having a social worker come by like on a routine basis to check in and ask us how we're doing, or anything like that. And I think that is something that needs to be changed within us, if that's still something that's not being done.
I believe so. I believe that it's just it's not enough empathy or enough care, especially in our communities, where kids come from broken homes and being placed in these foster families and stuff like that, because they look at it like, well, it's all about the money, but it's really supposed to be about making sure that child development is top tier, especially when they come from a bad circumstance.
Hmm.
And we don't have that nowadays. And I was fortunate to be raised by my biological mother, and stuff, but it was some times that I wish I wasn't around her. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't look at my life as a bad thing. I look at it, it's just like everybody else. We all was given cars that we wouldn't had no choice to deal. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
to have in our proximity. But I just feel like everything is just meant for us to grow and to learn and stuff like that. Because even with the bad, it's still some good out of it because it builds character and stuff like that. Because now I'm very humbled, I'm very grateful, and appreciative. Just the little things and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because of not having a father and stuff like that. I had an older brother. Well, he passed away, but my older brother was out the house when I was 5 because we was 13 years apart.
Hmm.
So it's just my mom and my sister and her boyfriend, who was also my stepfather. But it just kind of was troubling because I didn't meet my real father until I was 8. And then I had a little brother. So I was a big brother for 3 years. And then his mother passed away. Then he got put in foster care. And we were separated
Hmm.
for like 17 years. So it was a lot. So your book is really relatable to me. Like I
Hmm.
still have teardrops on the on some of the pages because I was like, man, it's like she know me. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I'm glad I was able to, you were able to relate to my book. That's the whole goal. Um, yeah, I- I'm happy you're able to relate. And
Yeah,
mhm.
thank you. I just really like when I finished it, I was like, man, I just really want to just give her a hug and just let her know that she's a leader, she's a superhero in her own way and stuff like that. A real one out here. And we just need more people like you who brave enough to tell their story. And you could tell your story without throwing people under the bus and this and that, or just being in an angry place. Because I feel like when it comes to healing, um, just being able to, get some therapy, get some counseling, and find out who you are, and then write it. And that's the best way. Instead of being angry and being vindictive and
Yeah,
being vengeful, no, because it's like you losing while these people winning. And I never would give my abusers, the people that did certain things to me, I don't allow them to win. That's why I keep winning because I did the work. And it takes work. It takes years. And I just hate when people try to do that quick forgiveness speech like, well, if you don't forgive them, then God won't forgive you and all this
I,
other stuff.
I
I'm
think that
like, what?
I think it's important that we do forgive the people who we forgive people, but not for them, but for ourselves. I think that
Yeah,
like you're not forgiving them for them, like to for their satisfaction. You're forgiving them for yourself so that you can move forward in your life.
yeah. And like I said, it just takes time for me because if I just forgive you like that, like it's not real. You know
I
what I'm saying?
don't have to ever like you don't have to like not in the sense of oh I'm gonna be around this person all the time and now we're about to like go to a barbecue together, but just to like let go of all that, like I just feel like in that sense it's important to forgive. Like you're never going to because you have because you're living with that every day. You're still living with what happened to you and things like that. But like I don't think that I was able. I don't think that I was actually able to truly heal until I forgave because for so long I held on to everything that happened. I was like I was so angry and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna be around them. Like they're not good people. I was lashing out, and when I would see my siblings saying that they were, these great parents and things like that, and like until I honestly was just like, okay, like I'm going to forgive them for myself. I wasn't able to do the work to heal.
Hmm.
So I think that's an important part of the healing process.
I agree, and I'm been working on it myself.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's just really hard sometimes, but I'm a work in progress, like all of us are.
Writing up helped too. Like writing my story really helped. Um, I went through a lot. It took me a little while. It took me a while to get through a lot of stuff because I'm like, it's stuff that I hadn't talked about in a long time. And so like when I was finding myself just really emotional a lot of times. I had to take a long breaks in between. But it
Hmm.
really helped me to, you know what I'm saying, to be like, okay, this happened and I'm looking at it and now I'm able to like start doing the work towards um moving past it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that too, because I know, like when you write something, you revisit those events, and so was it like really difficult to go back to that place that you came from in order to get this done?
Like it was because like I mean like so when I would talk to like my like certain like really close friends of mine, I would tell them surface level stuff, like some stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about. There's still stuff that I left out of the book, I guess, still trying to protect people in a sense. Um yeah, it was hard. It was hard. Like I said, I had to take lots of breaks in between. I would write it, stop, um and then I was like, let me just get it over with because I don't like go through it. So I was like, let me just write it, get it done with, and then yeah.
Yeah, so my question to you was like, if you can remember when you had like your first relationship after all that you went through and stuff like that, like was it difficult to allow somebody to come in into your life? And because it was really hard for me.
To allow someone in,
Hmm.
I don't think it was hard to allow someone to come in. It was just I think it was I unpacked a lot of shit on the person, like my insecurities,
Hmm.
certain things. I think that um no, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to allow someone in. It was just the whole I think for a long time I didn't trust men. I had a hard time trusting men. But
Hmm.
like I had trust in my first like legit relation like boyfriend. I trusted him at the time. So but up until that point I didn't. And yeah. I don't yeah. But I think that like what did affect my relationships was like I didn't connect sexually with men for the longest time.
Hmm.
Um like during like sex, like I was having sex for the other person. I wasn't having it for my I didn't think it felt good. Like faking and like
Oh,
it for them, like let me put on a show for them, let them feel good. I think that was a big thing that I like dealt with during my first relationship. I've only had 3 relationships as an adult. 2.
hey, yeah, you rare breed. Wow, that's that's incredible. To be honest with you, I,
What is?
you had 3 relationships, so that's incredible.
To only have 2 relationships.
I, I can't even count. Just I, I was wild. Okay, I was crazy, but I was crazy because um like I was using sex to cope with all the stuff I went through myself, and when you said that you didn't feel it, I can relate because I didn't feel it when I was doing that type of stuff because I was just trying to numb the pain. And my partners didn't know at the time, but it was what it was. I didn't care about who I was hurting, who I was manipulating, and who I was playing at the time because I was in pain. I needed that fix myself. And I feel so ashamed talking about it now.
Hurt people.
Yeah, yeah. So I was just a loose cannon. But now I enjoy it for the emotional connection. I don't even like initiate it no more. I don't even do the old tricks anymore. But now I'm at a good space and a good place in my life to the point that I just want the stability. I want love. I want companionship. I want to build and stuff. But yeah, it's just, man, a lot of stuff that you're saying really taking me back. But yeah, so just just with everything else, so when was like the transformation? And what I mean by that is just like you just took your life back. Like what age were you and what was going through your head at that time? Period.
Uh, it literally was like a couple years ago. It literally, yeah, probably about a couple years ago. I had did some transformations just with my health, and I was like open to just changing, like trying to fix everything. I think that I've always been very self-reflective of myself, like just self-aware and
Hmm.
always wanting to be a better version of myself. So I think I've always just made sure to do that. But really, honestly, to start healing from my trauma, probably about a couple of years ago. Like I said, I had to forgive. Before my adopted mom passed, I was actually around her a couple of times. That's um, and that was big for me because, like I said, for so many years, I just like I didn't go by the house. I didn't talk to them. Um, so yeah, probably about like when I was like 28, 27, 28.
Mm, dang. That's crazy because um 27 for me was hectic. It started off beautifully and then it ended tragically, and it's everything that you're saying. It just really pinpoints back to my life, man. And I said, like, I hate to make it all about me, but I can relate to you so much, and it's so scary. But I'm happy for you that you were able to, become an author, become just a living witness to, you don't have to be what you've been through. And you didn't make no excuses, you fought hard, know, and you still fighting. I could tell because I'm still fighting. And I just want you to win so bad. This needs to be like the number one bestseller and all books and stuff, just for women, period, and stuff. Because,
Well, not just women, but men too.
hmm,
That's important.
yeah,
That's important. I got men too. Um, and I really want to be able to touch kids, like you know, like I can like like, cause I just feel like kids, like when it's happening, it's easy to help them. Cause I feel like when we're adults, we get stuck in our ways a lot of times, and
Hmm.
it's hard to want to change or want, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like, just, like when you said like, um, you're not ready to forgive and stuff like that. Like, I just feel like, kids are more open to things to like, I don't know. But
Yeah,
I really to help everybody. Like, I just want to help everybody heal and get through, their traumas.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm very stubborn at times, but that just makes me human and stuff. A lot of times I'm gonna have to find things out the hard way like everybody else. But I really rooting for you and stuff like that.
Well,
And yeah, because we gotta get this on audio as well. You plan on releasing an audio book
I
about it?
don't have it on audio. I have it on Amazon paperback. I have it on Kindle. Um, and then yeah, those are the two. It's just Amazon paperback and Kindle right now.
Okay. Yeah, right now, but later this has to be all over the place, and it's going to be because it's just so genuine. This is your testimony, and it needs to be all over the place because it's just really powerful, and powerful things need to come to the forefront a lot better than what they shoving down our throats. And and I wanted to ask you this question too. So just with how things are and stuff like that, and things is being over sexualized, like how did that, make you feel? Like, do you ever have any thoughts about just how things being over sexualized?
Like, like in what sense?
Like just like the music, the movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. Because there's certain things I can't watch.
No, I think that I get like when when sex scenes or something happens in the show, I get like, ugh, like why would they? Mm. But I understand that sex sells, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Like, so I mean, I guess I really don't. I don't have an issue,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I get squeamish a little bit when I see certain stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because I try to ask this question to every woman that come on my show because they just kind of, feel like it's a agenda, you know what I'm saying, that we hate y'all, but we don't hate y'all because we understand that it's a difference and stuff. It's different species of women, it's a different species of men. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is niggas. You know what I'm saying? I don't get along with niggas because I'm not a nigga or whatever. So I don't get along. I can't, um, I would say, conversate with them because it's so low vibrational to the point that I'm going to get totally not in tune and stuff. I don't really fit in that aspect. So I just try to just give everyone just an opportunity to just give me their thoughts about that. But did you face any backlash from the book by any chance?
Yeah, yeah. Well, before, just speaking about it in general, I lost a lot of like my family. A lot of my family members stopped speaking to me when I started speaking about it. But now I really don't communicate with any of them, even the ones that I have been communicating with. But I knew that that was going to be a thing. There are certain people I was like, yeah, they're not going to speak to me once I actually put this book out. And it's here and it happened, but it is what it is.
Uh,
But
and that's so unfair.
they're upset, but it's just like, well, you're upset at the wrong person. Be upset at your dad who was molesting your sisters, or be upset at your mom for the way that she treated some. Don't be upset at me, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's all cool and it's all good because you have a right to tell your story. And you didn't say any names, so I don't know why they feel like they incriminated, but because they not. But it's all good.
Or even use the last name, you know.
That's that's ill. That's just really just shows the immaturity of it all because you did something very noble, and to do something like that, you have to have support. You know, it should have been some type of empathy because I'm pretty sure that. So how many was you staying there in the house? How many again?
I think the most that stayed there once was like 15 or 16 of us, or something like that.
Dang.
I want to say.
Hmm. Wow. Um. Whew, that's a lot. Y'all could have had your own singing group. That's a lot of
It, was like,
kids. Damn.
it didn't
Uh,
feel like when you're in it. It doesn't feel like a lot.
and yeah. So did anybody else ever, came to you or say like, "Oh, this was happening to me too," or they just kept it to themselves?
Well, I mean, I have a sister the same age, and it was some stuff was happening to both of us, like with the being, like I say in my book, the being spied on by our brothers and stuff like that, changing and things like that. And then one of my younger brothers uh, told me about some challenges that he had being in the house, and I was surprised to hear it. I was just like, dang, I had no idea. But it doesn't surprise me because shoot, I mean, like I said, you're living in a house with a bunch of kids who aren't really related to each other, and they weren't. You had older siblings with younger. They're not treating you like you're their sibling. They're looking at you like you're a female out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like I still like certain people that I go around and that's around my family, like some of the men and stuff, I still feel uncomfortable. Like if I dress a certain way around certain siblings still, or like I won't let them stay the night, or I get anxiety if they do, because I'm just like, oh my god, like it takes me back to, and I'm just like, no, I can't have that. So I keep my distance to an extent. Um, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. And again, I am so sorry that all that stuff happened to you.
thank you. I'm not
And
sorry that it happened to me. I'm more so like, I'm grateful for my experiences because it made me the person that I am today. Um, would I do it over again? No, but
no,
but I'm grateful for what I went through. Um, and I'm grateful to be able to help others and things like that. So
that's good. Yeah. So what's next on your agenda, Miss Davis?
I am starting my own podcast, and it's called Living My Purpose with Purpose, where I'm going to start the topics that I talk about in my book, amongst others. I'm going to delve deeper into those things. I start recording Saturday. I'm excited. Tomorrow I start recording for that. Um, and I just started training to be an advocate for abused and neglected kids. So I'll be doing work. I'll be working with children and just being their voice in the courts during court and things like that, and to their lawyers, and just really protecting the kids in these settings and making sure that they get the best possible outcome.
Okay.
You
But
you should start training to be one. It's a volunteer. You would be great at it.
oh, I mean, I would love to. I would love to give it a try and stuff. I actually was thinking about like doing some public speaking engagements anyway. So I would love to, come and talk to the kids because I'm a big kid myself. So I love kids. But yeah, I will let you know. Whenever you're available to do it, I would love to.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, I just want to ask you. So when and why you decided to talk to me? Like, what made you talk to me? Because I was curious, because I was like, I never really get a whole lot of people that come to me, so I really want to know, like what was it? Like, I need to know. The suspense is killing me.
This is really awkward. No, I'm just playing. No, I saw you. Well, we're Facebook friends, and I had seen you did an interview with another woman about a book that she had
Oh,
wrote, and oh, and I started looking at your content, and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and reach out.
mm.
That's how that happened.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to keep my composure over here because I could. No, like you just don't know how much that really touched me, man. Because I really be speaking from my heart. I'll be speaking from my experiences, and I'm just happy that you was able to, reach out and also just trust me with that, because something like that needs to be held with delicacy, and I won't ever like be insensitive to people's story because I learned from you guys and stuff like that. But I wasn't expecting your book because it's just so like angelic. The cover of it is just like so angelic, and then when you read it, it's like, ooh, you know.
You thought the
But
cover?
no, it's just like when I look at this and stuff like that, it's just it's so heartwarming, what I'm saying? Even again, like, oh, it's so. Oh, let me read this. And then when you read it, you like, whoa, like, let me come back to that and stuff like that. But it's good though, because we need those type of those stories and stuff like that. And I just love how you opened it. And I wanted to just ask you, so did you end up talking to your biological parents or meet them?
Yeah. So, and after I got done putting the book out, I'm like, oh, I left out some stuff I didn't say. So when I was actually in the foster system, my last house before getting
Hmm.
adopted, I actually saw my mom. I was playing outside at this birthday party, and this little boy was like, "Do you want to see your mom?" And I was like, "Yeah." Give me a. That was the last time I seen her. She passed away. Um, but I do know my dad, and I go see him every so often and spend time with him. Um, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that too. And I need some advice too. Like, I really want to, again, I really want to get this forgiveness thing out of the way. So I just don't know where to start.
What's the question?
That's the question. I don't
What?
know.
Where do you start?
Hmm.
That okay. Um, I would say, shoot, where do you start to forgive? For one, forgive yourself.
Hmm.
Forgive yourself for, you know, I had to forgive myself for the choices that I made, as and things like that. And then you just, I don't know, you just start to forgive them. I'm not saying like, I don't, I don't know. Probably have to have that conversation outside here. I'm not
Yeah, I know it's tough. It's really tough. I know, but I'm willing. But
forgiving, because you start with yourself and then work your way towards others. Because I feel like a lot of times like when we go through stuff, we are upset at ourselves for the things that happen, and we blame ourselves for the things that happen. So you got to forgive your younger self, your teenage self, your adult self, and remind yourself that it wasn't your fault for what happened, and that um that you're not a victim and you're not a product of what happened to you, and then allow yourself to forgive the person that abused you. Just forgive them and truly, you know, truly forgive. Don't fake forgive and still see them and be giving them a side eye and be, you know what I'm saying? And like,
yeah,
gotta truly forgive, and yeah.
and that's kind of like how I am, because I really feel when you go through stuff like that, um, sex becomes primary instead of secondary, and I'm working on that myself because you know, shoot, sex was showed to me first instead of love, so it's really hard to differentiate those two, but I'm getting there, and I feel like everyone goes through that who've been in that situation. Because I had people try to love me, but I didn't know how to love. I just knew how to please them or to satisfy them. But I'm more than just meat. I can, but I can love. It's just gonna take a minute, because I feel like when you love me too much, I feel like you're going to hurt me or you trying to have
You
a,
need to
huh?
say you need to meditate.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
need to start picking up some, healthy habits, so that when you get in situations like that. I think I was the opposite. I think that I give a lot of love to others. I just have a hard time loving myself. Um, that's where I struggle. I can give as much love to anybody, but it's just I struggle with loving myself, and that's what I'm working on right now.
so what's the hard part about doing that? Like loving yourself. What's hard about it? Like,
All the things that I sit here and I believe about myself, that like, you just nitpick at yourself. Like I nitpick. I'm like, oh, you're not pretty enough. You're not small enough. You're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of certain things. You're just not. You're just not. Um, and those are the things that I sit there and I hear it playing in my head, and I believe it, and I'm just like, yeah. So those are things that I have to. Those are things that I'm probably gonna always have to continuously work through and work on. Because it comes in waves. Because sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm good. I feel good. I look good. And then I don't know. Then I'm right back. I'm like, oh, and then I had to pick myself back up. Like, nah.
Oh, I think that's everybody. We all have those things and times that we feel like we're not as perfect or as fit, as attractive and stuff like that. But sure, at the end of the day, I look at it like we all original. Somebody gonna find us fine and somebody gonna find us ugly. Can't please everybody. I don't try to please everybody no more. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I shape. I know this and that. But at the end of the day, I know somebody out there in the world likes it. A few people like it, not many, but a few. But that's fine. I can live with that. I ain't trying to be GQ or the sexiest man in the world and this and no. I just cute, you know what I'm saying? I'm good enough with being cute, but it's just everybody. You good, to me, what I'm saying, you chocolate, you got nice skin, your face don't look like a Nestle Crunch bar on the back, or like a Star Crunch. You got clear skin. You good? Are you professional?
Thanks.
Yeah. So get all that. So don't even listen to that voice or
Yeah.
whatever. You can't meet everyone's expectations, and I learned that because I look at it like, hey, this is me. What you see is what you get. But everybody deals with that. That's just part of being human.
Mm.
But my last question to you before I let you go is, what changed now from before you wrote the book? What changed now about you?
What changed because about me?
Hmm. You feel like you like a weight was lifting off your shoulders and stuff like that?
Yeah, I definitely do because like I said, you look like I held a lot of it in. So it felt good to put my story out there. It was actually really nerve wracking. And like I said, I had a little bit of anxiety after doing this. I was like, oh shoot. And some of my family members started buying the book and I was like, oh God, no. you know. So I think that writing the book helped me to pinpoint some of the things that the negative traits that I acquired over the years, where it helped me to pinpoint where they came from, where I developed those habits and insecurities. So it helped me be able to look at them, and now that I know, I can work on them. So I think that's what.
Yeah. Well, you need to come back and autograph this to me. I was just like, where's my autograph? Why didn't you get no autograph?
Yeah, and I had literally the first 9 orders that I sent out, I forgot to sign them. I was like, oh dang, because I was in a rush and I sent them out real quick and I was like, I forgot to sign them, but I got you. I'll sign it.
Okay, no problem. I was just messing with you, but I do want an autograph, what I'm saying? Because this is gonna be a collector's item. Like I'm gonna have this for ever, because I feel like your story is going to help a lot of people who have been through it and who is going through it. Like you just don't know this how much of an inspiration that you can be to people. But I really hope that you are able to go on these talk shows and promote this and do like a release or something like that, press run with it. And I'm with you. Anything you need, I got you. Promotion for the other projects that you got stored in, just let me know and I'll do it for you.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
Thanks for sharing your story with me. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no, no problem. And just let me know whenever you want to come on. I'm here.
I got you. I'll let you know.
Okay, well, you have yourself a good night and thanks again.
All right. Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye.